When you're talking about low-income students who do not have college-educated parents, the statistics around them graduating from college are very low.
The low-income kids, they never really get a shot at a higher track.
Students are showing up at college and struggling there. As a result, they're stopping out or dropping out, not earning their degrees.
The number at this point is about 13% nationally.
We've got a great record of getting first-generation kids into college and an absolutely abysmal record of getting them through college.
So think about 100 kids in a room that you've taught that have graduated from high school, let's say, and of your class of 100 students, only 13 get to finish.
Those are numbers that should scare people. I decided to write a book about what it takes to get some of these low-income minority kids to succeed in college. Not just get into college, but succeed in college. I'm Richard Whitmire, and I'm the author of The Breakthrough. I decided that I'd take a look at how the charters were doing on their core promise made to the parents, which was, right from the beginning, if you sign our child up for our charter school, your child will have a better chance of getting into college and through college. So I was able to go to the big charter networks that had enough graduates at the 6-year point, and I was surprised by what I found.
Certainly at KIPP, the first group of kids graduated from college in 2007, right? And so that was the first data point for KIPP. The data that we found was that for that first cohort of kids, there were, approximately 40 of them, and of those 40, less than 10 graduated within 4.
What KIPP discovered early on is that giving students a good K-12 education is important, but it's not enough. And so they throw up their hands and go, what do we do? So they had to start from scratch. And that's what these charter networks have had to do.
I attended college at the University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia. My first year was by far my roughest year of college. Sitting side by side in a class with someone who grew up with having it all was like a culture shock for me.
And we did talk to them a lot about what were the enabling conditions that allowed you to do really well. Obviously, it's different for every kid.
So it took a toll on just my entire concept of, is college the right thing for me?
The KIPP Through College program was sort of unique in that it kind of looked at kind of having that mentoring person from your middle school, right? Be able to support you in sort of that quest to get that degree was pretty revolutionary.
And then once I started looking at what colleges are doing, I realized that there's been an awakening. The universities started reaching out to these students, making their life on campus more comfortable, if you will.
Throughout my college years, I stayed in close contact with my mentors from middle school and high school, and it was monumental. It really helped throughout all 4 years.
What the charters are doing, they're democratizing college, if you will. They're saying, these kids deserve a shot at college as well.
One of the things that Democracy Prep has done was not just to build a K-12 system, but actually to build an organization that supports alumni after they leave the 12th grade. Sometimes we learned in our first few years that the reason a student didn't return to college after their first semester was because they couldn't afford the bus ticket to upstate New York. And so for $60 in cash, a student was choosing to miss out on an entire semester of college. And so these microgrants were ways to support them in their financial challenges of getting to and through college.
What's interesting about the microgrants is there's a revolution, I think of it, as people setting up money that covers small things. Then you can set up your own microgrant. Then the people at the high school, for example, or the college could give them that money to see them through and ensure that they don't drop out. And then the colleges themselves, it's where the biggest revolution has to take place. For years, especially the elite colleges have taken almost no community college students.
So 40% of all undergraduate students start in community college, and 80% of those students want a bachelor's degree. The problem is only 14% of them get one within 6 years of entering community college.
What's interesting about the potential for community college transfers is that it can and should be appealing to even elite universities. And I would encourage anyone to go visit UCLA. And they take hundreds of community college transfers.
Almost 20 years ago now, I helped the Chancellor and Vice Chancellor create a strategy for increasing diversity with transfer students. So our work really focuses on students who are at community colleges, who are essentially underrepresented in higher education. And our work focuses on helping them understand, one, why they need to be at a university, and two, how to get to a university.
What's remarkable about UCLA is that a full third of its students are transfer students. They come from community college. This is unusual for a highly selective four-year institution.
It's about options. If students want to go the vocational tech route, let them. But we want to make sure that they have the choice to make that choice.
So UCLA has done a great job in serving transfer students. They do it through a number of different means. They have really strong advising systems. They have great summer institutes where they're working to bridge the gap between 2- and 4-year schools.
So for us, access means nothing unless we're preparing them to graduate.
My question is, why is UCLA so rare? Why aren't more elite universities taking in large numbers of community college transfers? So for someone reading this book, I want them to come away with the idea that good things can happen, that it's possible to make progress here.
For first-generation college graduates like myself, I feel like it would be cliche to say, if I could do it, you could too. But I would revise it to say, if I could do it, you could too. And here, let me show you how.
What worries me about this is that we've got momentum going now. What if it stops? What if something happens that just torpedoes this?
If we sit back and think that educational excellence will happen by itself, is just a birthright, we're going to end up failing as a country.
The public seems to be questioning the value of higher education at a time when higher education has greater value than ever before.
All of these sort of like anti-college tropes, the data proves them all dead wrong.
The numbers don't lie. And while the number has been getting better, it's just, again, 13% out of 100 kids who go is a really, really sobering statistic.
You have to make college the expected thing for everyone.
For me, it's a social justice issue. I mean, if you have a community of people who are soon to be majority and you're not educating them, then it's either education or incarceration.
So you've got a push from the bottom by the charters, and then on the other end, you've got the colleges looking for that talented 10th, which they never did before. And you've got the potential for a breakthrough.